Yeah, I really hate the clip, so part of me doesn't want to play it for you, but I think we should watch. This is what our government is putting out.
We're having all night about
this fucking Nazi propaganda that we're doing.
You're going to have to make a choice. Sooner or later, you're going to have to make a decision. And it might be a small decision, like canceling Disney Plus and Hulu. Or it could be a big decision. Maybe you're a doctor and you have to make a decision on whether to take care of your patient or to deal with fascism and absolutely capitulate to fascism. And if you think that you're going to ride the fence out because you maybe don't have that much pull or you're not a billionaire, none of us are billionaires, but you're going to have to make a choice.
What's up, YouTube? Drill Sergeant here. And I'm drowning. I've had a death in the family. Someone very close to me passed. And I have yet to cry because it's pushed so far down beneath the muck that I'm walking on that it cannot surface a tear or two. When I was told what happened, I looked stone-faced, turned around and walked upstairs. And I'm wondering if they thought that it was because I didn't care, or if maybe they realized that it was because I couldn't even process it yet. I have yet to cry. It has pushed down a lot of the feelings. Everything that I feel has been pushed down behind the surface, beneath the muck, so I can walk on it. I'm drowning. The channel has lost over 100 subscribers, and I can't find out where. Every video that goes up gains subscribers, but yet every day a very slow amount has just been going down and down. I'm drowning because they're after me. Ever since I said that maybe the factions in Chicago need to unite and police their own streets, there's a coordinated effort to take down what we've built. I see it in the numbers. You see it in the numbers. You don't even see my videos anymore. Maybe this one will get to you. Other than that, there's a coordinated effort to take the money, take the funds from what we do. I know they're watching. I see it all over the place. I see it in signs from the open chat room that we have, where the writers and the artists meet. I'm in charge of a spec ops team that's in secret, the special operations team that I run, and I try to put forth a face of bravery and strength, knowing that I'm drowning. I don't know what a feeling is. I haven't had one in a long time. I'm not saying this because I need sympathy. I'm telling you what's happening. I'm drowning and it's taking a toll on relationships. Okay, I'm going to fix that. I promise you, if you're worried about me, don't be. I'm going to fix it. I'm going to have a couple days where I just spend with the family. I make sure to take some time to do what I got to do with the kid. And I make sure that I have leadership in place and we meet so that special operations can run as if I'm not drowning. But it's imperative that I make those decisions. And today's story is not just about maybe you feel that way too, but maybe you do. And it's not just about making the decisions to counteract it, although maybe you should. The story is about why I'm not covering the day-to-day. It's not because I'm drowning. It's not because I feel the eyes of the feds on me every video. It's not because they're attacking the channel and the money by which I use to help people. But the money goes down, the amount of help I can provide goes down. It's a correlation. It's a one-to-one relationship. But that's not why. The reason why is because today I want to talk to you about making the decision anyway. I'm in a unique position, YouTube. Having raised my hand and signed on the dotted line, was one of the few people when I was a young pipsqueak that couldn't grow a proper beard that realized that boot camp, basic training, wasn't camp. It wasn't a frolic. It wasn't summer camp. But it seemed to me that there were many who thought that. I couldn't believe while I was there. I couldn't believe while I was there for 8 weeks that there was, and yes, mine was only 8 weeks. I was 73 Charlie. And I couldn't believe how many people just couldn't take it. I didn't understand that they didn't like the drill sergeants. I didn't understand that they didn't want to crawl in the mud. They couldn't understand why they were being yelled at and the knife hand was coming down consistently, why we were having bay parties and sweat was dripping, and they thought that it should be something else. I didn't understand. Then I realized most of them were recruited. I came voluntarily. Most of them were recruited by people who told them something that it wasn't, and were surprised when they got there. I knew what it was and stepped forward anyway, just like I did this. In my unique position, after doing that and passing that, I did it again. I went to Drill Sergeant Academy. I realized what it meant to stay up for 73 hours. I realized with dyslexia and ADHD, what it meant to have to read 1,000 words of script that need to be memorized and said in such a way that it can be relayed to anybody who is the lowest common denominator. From the balls of your feet to the placement of your thumb at the seam of your pants needs to be said the same way by every person. And so you have to learn it word for word. It means a lot of reading, which I read backwards sometimes, especially when I'm tired. I realized this before I went there. And what I found out was even the people who dropped out because it was just that tough, they knew what they were getting into, and it was a completely different situation because they knew. They made that decision eyes open and clear-headed. Today's story, YouTube, is not going to be about the fact that there are people dropping out of Black Hawk helicopters pointing weapons at civilians in Chicago. Although it could be. That's a story that needs to be told. There's a story happening in Portland right now. Weird planes in the sky flying overhead. There's a story happening in Portland right now where people are being shot with pepper balls in the face from rooftops like they're a doggone foreign enemy. I'm not telling that story today, although I could. There's a war going on in Chicago, and it's not by the gangs or the civilians. It's our own government that has shot and killed 2 people so far. And that story is underreported. It seemed as a happenstance, a byproduct of. This story is worth telling. It's not the story. The story that I'm telling is I made a decision. So even though it seems to me like I'm drowning, and I am, and my feelings are pushed way down, and I haven't felt the death of my family member yet, so I know when it comes, it's going to be a hurricane, a tsunami. Even when I know I look in the eyes or the text messages of my own special operations team, and they're wondering, where are you, drill sergeant? I know that I'm going to have to put something in place anyway. I'm going to have to make it work because I made that decision. More importantly, I made that decision knowing that this would happen. So even while I'm drowning, I can see the cracks in the water. I can see the waves. I can see the sun streamlining through the blue. And I'm not dead yet. Today, I'm telling you, you have to make a decision. But I'm also making sure that when you make the decision, you don't do it haphazardly. You're going to have to make it either way. That's the key. Authoritarianism is upon you. It is here. People are already dead by the hands of the state. People are already locked in cages by the hands of the state. There's already concentration camps being built by money given by you to the state. Did you know that? Did you know that the prison corporations, the for-profit prison corporations that are making money from the taxpayer dollars that will not pay for your health care, are paying to build them, to put more bodies in? It's happening now. The government is shut down. Somehow there's military personnel not getting paid everywhere. Somehow these programs are still ongoing. There's been no pause. How, YouTube? Because in a kleptocracy, the people who have the money are already running the government. They didn't need the Congress. The Congress has been an impediment. The authoritarian government is upon us. You will make a decision whether you want to or not. I'm telling you now to make yours. There's something you can do. And in order to make it properly, I need you to know what it entails. It means you may have to go off grid, so we have a gardening spot. It means you may have to give up some money. Hit us up on Patreon so we can help more people, because one of those people might be you because you made a decision, but you're going to have to make it. Either way, I would rather know that when you make it, you have me on your side, because while I'm drowning, I'm still holding up a hand to pull someone from underneath me, not pull them down. I promise you. As soldiers fill your streets, as young men who rose their hand to defend their country are turned on their country and aren't sure exactly how to say no just yet because they're scared of a court-martial. They don't want to be there. This is not what they were trying to do. There are some in some states that can't wait to go. I know that. You know that. So I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you. The people in these pictures who have their guns pointed at civilians can't wait to use them. That's a guarantee. And they will. More will die. And you will still have to make a decision. Just as a quick aside, YouTube, to show you what I mean by they can't wait.
Put the gun down.
Yes, doofus, untrained agents are being brought up from anywhere, from every militia group that was pardoned after being there on January 6th. People who are the untrained, bumpheads, undisciplined, foolish people who raised their hand to join because the white sheet was just too uncomfortable to wear all day. You can choose to be one of them. You can choose to fight in the shadows. You can choose to be a medicine man, a healer. You can choose to be an inspiration. You can choose to be a talker. You can choose to be a home on the way to safety that others use. You can choose to fill your car with gas so you can be a transportation. You can choose to bring people in your neighborhood together to police it amongst yourselves. You can choose to hit me up and we can talk about it together. I don't have all the answers. I just know the choice will be made for you. If you don't choose now, what will you do? What will you give up? What will you sacrifice? What are you willing to sacrifice? Not enough. You will have a choice made for you or make it yourself. I'm not giving you an option. I'm telling you, you will make a choice. I don't know how inspirational this is. I know how necessary it is. You see what's happening right now? I could talk about the story that ICE is putting on government websites. This crap.
Yeah, I really hate the clip, so part of me doesn't want to play it for you, but I think we should watch. This is what our government is putting out.
We're having an all-night revival.
This fucking Nazi propaganda that we're doing.
And our young friend here, the Bulwark, couldn't stomach the whole video. Well, I'm here to tell you that that's only one of many they've been doing that, holding people in chains behind rock songs. This is Goebbels style Nazi Germany propaganda. And there will be more minds changed because of it. There will be people who were on the fence who just weren't ready for that type of filth, who after being bombarded with cute rock songs and signs of inspiration, put to images of un-American action as if it's valiant, that will change their minds, or young enough to not have an opinion yet and be formed by this. It's getting worse by design. That's what those are for. That's what the propaganda's for. That's why they put it out. It's not for fun memes. It's working. I could tell you that story. But the story we unfortunately need to have is that what's necessary to push back an authoritarian regime that has already put its claws in our Constitution and in our rights, already put its claws in our judicial system and their judgments, that has already put its claws into our institutions, from the schools to the CDC, that has already put its claws into the minds of about 30% of this population, into allowing them to watch what's on Fox News.
Guy is in his cozy little home, his wealthy estate on the outskirts of the city, and pretending like he's going to be able to speak for the people that are inside, the victims of this, the ones that are scared for their lives to go outside on this block, because you never know what's going to happen to them. You walk out there, and these people are deranged. It's not a safe place to go, and these residents are victims.
Watch things like this while talking about it being terrorism and warfare, even though you can see it's not. They're playing it and saying it at the same time so that the people watching go, I guess that is that bad. Even though they can see that it's not. There's a mind control happening right now on Fox News. What it takes to turn that back, we don't have. The example is right now in France. This is how they show up for Palestinians. Not even for themselves. All over Europe, there are places where millions gather. These countries have 200 times less people than we do, and show up with 100 times more every time they show up, not even for themselves. America has been the greatest, richest, most safe country on earth for many years. You know why those people show up on a dime by the millions? It's because they know what it's like to be hungry. We have hungry people here. We don't have a nation that knows what it's like to be hungry. Black people here know exactly what it's like, and so they've been out there fighting for years, and they've finally given up because they realize you don't know what it's like yet. Which is why You haven't, and you won't do what's necessary. Those people show up because there's war at their borders before, because they've had authoritarianism before, because they've been taken over by fascists before, they've had death camps before, they've had planes cross their borders and bomb them before. We've never had it. No matter how poor or rich you are in America, if you are a white American, you've never known what it means to beg for the UN to come and save you. Every one of those countries has at some point. That's why they gather in the millions when they see atrocities. That's why we don't. We are fighting back. Don't get me wrong. I see the pockets. I see gigantic. We have 1 million people spread across America, but we can't get 1 million of them in Washington at one time. We just can't. Until we're hungry. That means more people will have to die. That means more cities will have to be renovated with Humvees and camouflage. That means more hospitals will have to disappear. More grandmothers will have to die, demented, without care. And more sons and daughters will have to watch them. That means more National Guards from southern cities and southern states that couldn't wait for the Civil War will be sent into northern states to enact it. Because until those things are felt and until you're able to push that down and walk on it in order to hold your hand out to save another, you won't do it. Until violence becomes more than just a philosophical debate, but an interaction that you have in daily life, whether you like it or not, like black people have. You won't have what it takes. And I don't mean you personally. I mean you, the collective. America has to go through that. So expect a much longer, worse situation, which means it's going to get worse, and your decisions will eventually be made for you. Those camps will eventually be built for you, not the them or the they, for us. And then, when we're hungry, when we're broken, when we see that there's nothing left, is when even those disgusting, filthy people who brought us here will have nothing more to eat and no more black people to point their guns at or their hate at. And even Fox News may not be enough to quench them. At that point, we can fight back, but expect another year and 6 months before we get anywhere close to that. So make your choice now! Who you boycott? I have a list down there of people and companies to boycott. You can bring Disney to their knees. I bet you can do it to a few more. If even 1% of our population was to join in just 10% of any of these boycotts, we stave off that worst case scenario. If you can start your neighborhood watch, and a real one, using your Second Amendment rights, researching, going to the range, exercising, make that decision to knock on a door so that when it comes for you, there's somebody on the post, in the tower, on the roof that will have given foreknotice, and you can save a few. Or say you're willing to use your home to stockpile food. Maybe you can start the community garden, do something, make a choice. You're gonna have to make one. Make the choice when you hear someone laughing about another race and talking shit, you say, the fuck is wrong with you? Stop befriending people. Cut them off. Rid them of your life. Be loud at the grocery store when you see it. Step in, even when it's dangerous. Do it. Make a choice. And if that's not you, there's another one. You're going to have to make a choice. When you ask yourself, why is the subscriber count gone down on Political Drain? And why is he talking about farming all of a sudden? Why is it so important to get the Canadian drain down here? It's because I know what's coming. And I'm trying to prepare for it. Try to build something to resist it. But also I made the choice, so I can't turn back. It doesn't matter how I feel or don't feel. It doesn't matter that my family member has died. It doesn't matter that I'm in danger. It doesn't matter that I'm losing money. It wasn't for me in the first place. It doesn't matter that my subscriber count goes down. I made a choice. And I realized on that day that these may be the consequences for it. So I was also mentally and emotionally prepared. And that's why I made this video today. I'm not just asking you to make a choice. I'm giving you the real. Even those who fell out, who didn't make it through Drill Sergeant Academy, knew what they were getting into and they had a better chance. Your turn. It doesn't have to be the most violent or the most brave. It just has to be a choice. One that you make every day and that you're going to stand by. And that now you're going to walk into it with your eyes open and know that it still must be made. Hey, yeah, you. Before you click away to watch someone unbox a tactical toothbrush, let's talk about something real. Political Drain isn't just another content mill. We're a digital front in a very real war. Not with bullets, but with ideas, with action, and with solidarity. We pair urgent news with critical education. And we build community around actual resistance, not the hashtag kind. The kind that moves. But here's the thing. None of this is free. It isn't. Behind every video is time, labor, research, and some weird guy asking if we're gonna pay the hosting bill. And yeah, some of that money goes to things we can't necessarily say out loud. If you know, you know. Let's just say our special ops aren't Call of Duty LARPers. They're people making real moves to protect, uplift, and organize. You're not just funding a channel. You're funding a resistance network in a world where capital still calls the shots. Unfortunately, in a system built on artificial scarcity, even mutual aid has a price tag. And if we want to grow, if we want to win, we need your help. We need your help. So if you've got even a few bucks to spare, toss it our way. It's not for ads, it's not for merch drops, but for people making moves in the shadows so others can do it in the light. It's just us and you. So fund the mission, fund the fight, fund the future, because nobody's coming to save us. We save each other. That's how this works. Follow us on all these things you see here, and our link tree is in the description. Maybe even get some merch.